It is August 22nd, 2025. My name is Michael Kersey, and this is day one of my road to recovery. I wanted to document my whole journey, just to be able to have it on film, exactly all of the pain that I'm going through, all of the ups that I have, all of the downs that I have, the happiness, the sadness, what I'm grateful for, all of the struggles, all of the challenges that I'm going to overcome. I want to document everything, because the last time when I got when I tore my tricep, I didn't have anything documented. I barely had any pictures, and it's hard for me to just recall some of the emotions that I've had, and I don't want that to be the case here. So I'm going to document everything from day one, and I want to be able to share my journey with you guys as well. So just want to go back to when everything first happened, when I first tore my bicep. I'll just explain into detail. I was doing preacher curls 7 weeks out from my first bodybuilding competition, and I was pumped, I was excited. My body was getting a little bit weaker than usual, obviously just me being in prep. And I happened to be talking to somebody at the gym. I was already almost done with my workout. Somebody came up to me. We started talking for about 10 minutes. I got a little bit cold. I lost my pump a little bit, and then I went back doing my workout. I was debating whether just to finish out my workout or just do cardio, and I decided just to finish my workout. And when I did that, I hopped back on preacher curls for biceps. We're just finishing off. I was on my second set, had one more set. On the third rep, I was facing the mirror like I was watching it in third person, and I saw my bicep just completely rip off the bone, like a rubber band just slingshot back into my arm. And then I knew. I knew exactly when it happened, and I knew exactly what happened, that I was done. I wasn't going to be able to compete anymore. And that was frustrating. I just sat there in shock. I don't even remember the pain of my bicep being torn. I just remember the emotional pain of how I felt. Everything just started rushing in at the same time. My mind just became flooded with all of the negative emotions, everything that's going to go wrong now. I can't compete anymore. I need to get surgery. I don't know how long the recovery time is, everything. And I just sat there for a while, just in shock. And I called my coach. I said, "Coach, I tore my bicep. I don't know what to do." And he said, "Okay, don't freak out. This happens all the time. You're going to be okay." So I went to the doctors, went to urgent care first, then I went to go to an ortho clinic, and then I had to get an MRI, and it was just all frustrating, just hopping from doctor to doctor. Just wanted it over with. And then I remember just a church leader that I had that was an anesthesiologist, and I had the prompting just to reach out to him, just let him know what happened. And he told me, he said, "Look, I have a surgeon. I know a few people. If you need anybody to operate on you, let me know." I was like, "Yeah, I would love that." And so he recommended me to somebody that happened to be in my network for insurance, Dr. Nelson. And he said he's a young guy. He works with sports injuries all the time. And if there's anybody that can do this surgery, it's him. He said, "If I were in your position, if I needed to replace or to reattach my bicep, this is the guy that I would trust doing that." They're super close. I was like, you know what? Let's do it. So I switched over because I already had one surgeon that I was scheduled with. I switched over to him. I was able to see him. I got injured on a Friday. I was able to see him on Tuesday. And then I was able to get the surgery scheduled on Thursday. So within a week of having the injury, tearing my bicep, I was able to get a surgery scheduled. I wouldn't have been able to do that without the help of this church leader. Not only that I see God's hand there, just the diamond in the rough, but also the church leader, like I said, happened to be the anesthesiologist. I was able to schedule him to be my anesthesiologist for the surgery. And so he's the one that put me under. And so I just knew that just in that moment, everything came together. And I don't know why this happened to me, but I knew that God was still with me. I had the comfort and I had the peace and I had the confidence knowing that I had a team behind me, that I was going to be okay. And President Kimball is his name, the church leader, but we were just cracking jokes before I had my surgery, and it just couldn't have went more smoothly than it did. It was perfect. So I had my surgery yesterday, and I felt great after the surgery. I didn't have any nausea from the anesthesia. I didn't happen to have any complications at all. I felt great after. I ate a meal, went to Protein House right after. Everything was great. I also got a nerve block as well, so I couldn't really feel my arm. 2:30, the nerve block kind of went away, and so I started to feel my arm again and started to feel the pain. And so I just got up, got a protein bar, got something to eat real quick, and then just took some pain medication. And then I was just tossing and turning, woke up at 2:30, woke up at 4:30, then go back to sleep until about 6, and woke back up at 6:45. And that was my night, the first night. But surprisingly, I still feel great. And surprisingly, I still feel like I didn't have my surgery. Yeah, there's a little pain here and there, just a little bit. Yeah, it sucks having to wear a sling and not use my left arm. They told me I can't use it at all. I can't grip anything. I can't even hold my phone with it. I can't do anything with it for at least for the next couple weeks. And so I'm a lefty, so it's a little tough. I'm just learning how to become ambidextrous, so I guess it's a blessing in disguise. But I just want you guys to know that no matter what happens to me, I'm going to overcome any obstacle that comes in my way. This is one of the biggest obstacles that I've ever faced, and I don't know where this road is going to take me, but what I do know is every obstacle that has came my way, any challenge that I've had, it's always, always, always made me a better man. It's always made me stronger. And so if this is one of the biggest obstacles I've ever faced, I know this is going to make me even stronger than I was before. I don't even know where I'm going to be by the end of this, but I know everything happens for a reason. I know God gave me this challenge. I know God is testing me right now. And he just wants to see exactly how I'm going to react to this challenge. He wants to see me succeed. And God gives his biggest challenges to the toughest warriors. And so I'm honored and I'm grateful to have this challenge. It's going to suck. Like I said, I've done this before. I know it sucks. The recovery process is long. It's hard. It's gruesome. It takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of courage. But I know it's not something that I'm not able to get through. And I know for a fact I'm going to get up on stage again. I was so close. I was 7 weeks out. 7 weeks out for my first ever bodybuilding competition. And then this happened, which is okay. Like I said, everything happens for a reason. But best believe this isn't going to stop me from ever stepping on stage. I'm going to step on stage and I'm going to win. I know that for a fact. I just needed a humbling experience. God needed to bring me back down to earth, needed to humble me, and I realized I can't do this by myself. And so I know I'm going to get back to where I was. I am not going back to how I was before this. I'm not going back to 265 pounds, 26% body fat. I'm not going back to the old me. I'm not going to go down that spiral again. The ugly, depressing, crazy downward spiral that I put myself into less than a year ago. I'm still going to train. I'm still going to go hard. I'm still going to count my macros. And I'm going to take this recovery just as serious as I took prep. Because I know the faster that I recover, the faster I can get back on stage. So just watch me. You're about to see the fastest recovery in human history. And I'm going to do it with the help of my coach. I'm going to do it with the help of my family. I'm going to do it with the help of all of my team, of doctors, and the surgeons, of friends. But I know I'm not going to do it without God. And God's reminded me of that. He's reminded me that I'm still human, but He's also reminded me throughout this whole experience that He's still with me. So, I'm Michael Kersey, and this is day one of my road to recovery.